All right, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and a great start to your weekend here. I do apologize. I was running a little bit late today, so that's why I had to push this back just a little bit. Hey, Feisty, how's it going? Uh, but yeah, I am now here, and now we can actually get going here. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and pop on over here so you guys can see me and see everything. A wormy weekend to me, yeah. I'm gonna have to do the worm like all throughout my apartment to to traverse my apartment. I'll be ripped in no time. I'll have my slutty waist back. I'll have like a 12 pack of abs because like my entire body will be abs from doing the worm. So I like it. And I'll have a lot of fun doing it. Alrighty, for those of you that are brand new here, I do a pin post every week on my Blue Sky where you can submit your artwork and I will show your wonderful work off to the world. We'll get you eyes on it and we'll you know, point out all the nice things about your artwork. So, only positive things. Hell yeah, my summer bod. My summer bod will be an elongated form with nothing but abs. And I will be the most desirable, even though I'm already married. I'll be married to the world. um anyway, so let's go ahead and get rolling here. All right, so our first submission here is from Sarah McKenzie. Sarah is always on top of these. Sarah wrote, "Hi, thanks for the art share. Hey, you're very welcome. I make fantasy and sci-fi art, especially creature art, dragons, etc. This new illustration I made for Clip Studio Paint's 47th illustration contest. Oh my god, I always forget about the damn contest. I need to get on that and participate here. This is already looking amazing. Let me read the little alt here. Illustration Sunrise Dragon, fantasy illustration. Digital artwork of a dragon's neck and head. Its scales are primarily colored a light sky blue. Excuse me. And its spikes and horns are gold. Many of its scales also have bright magenta regions. Its eyes are a shiny black. Its long neck is twisted like a snake-like position, with its head facing left. Its teeth are visible on the outside of its lips, much like crocodile teeth, and the snout is tipped in a bone-like beak structure. Two of its top teeth are especially long and tusk-like, curving outwards from either side of the head. The dragon has three pairs of horns, the longest and thickest of which is the highest pair on the back of the head. A thick but short spike, similar in appearance to the horns, is located on the side of the head near the back of the jaw. Three rows of spines extend down the creature's neck, and each spine is gold in color with a magenta base. The center row of spines is significantly taller than the others, and each of this row is lobed in the center. Each lobe is patterned with white and purple spots. The dragon's environment is a cloud scene at sunrise. It consists of pastel pinks and pale purples. Some sky blue is also visible at the top of the illustration. And in the rightmost top corner, the sky fades to navy blue in front of the dragon. Some pink clouds form a circular shape that frames the creature's face. There we go. Hell yeah. I know, this is like crazy. Yeah, my harem. Yeah, an amazing illustration. It is extremely well done. The lighting is like all on point here. You've got all sorts of like she even has all the lighting on the individual scales like mapped out, how the like Each of the spikes will like cast shadows in like different directions. It's crazy. But yeah, like the teeth and like the spikes and everything. Right, as much as I like this song, change it. There we go. Hey, stop scratching. Man, my cat's being so bad today. Yeah, it is absolutely insane. Like normally, I say this I think every time we go over art, like normally with these type of things you would just kind of like imply like the scale work. But she goes the extra mile to draw out every single little scale here and renders them all, like I said, with lighting and shadow. And she does it in a way that it doesn't make it like too busy. Like it looks like really realistic. Like this is like a model in 3D for like a video game or something, which is crazy. But I really like the way the cloud like breaks into like a swirl, like the you can almost see like the motion of the head kind of like come up and break the cloud and do like an S turn here, and then the clouds get like dispersed because of its sheer mass. And like really nice gradients, nice like framing, everything it's just so good. This is like absolutely fantastic. I really hope that you either win the illustration contest or you at least place enough to get a significant prize because this is so much work and it looks amazing. All right, so that was everything from Sarah Mackenzie. Sarah is incredibly talented, and this really makes me want to draw some dragons. Like I used to draw dragons all the time when I was like growing up. It was like one of my favorite things to draw. So maybe one of these days soon, I'll pop in my own little dragon inspiration here. All right, next up we have Mana Mineko Art. They wrote, "Hey Aniki, thank you so much for tagging me in another art share. Hey, you're super welcome. Always stoked to participate. Let's go. Some older art, some newer, but all drawn with love." Uh, Mana Mineko also does all of their work in MS Paint with a mouse, so just always incredibly impressive every single time. It says a redesign of My Little Pony's Princess Luna, along with an alternate transformation that is her Blood Moon Wolf Moon form. That's pretty cool. So we got like this one's kind of looking like a Digimon a little bit down here in this form. But I love the graphic elements that she's added here with this like gradient and like with this the shape language. You can see that like with like the sharp edges here and the diagonal like stances and the way she does like all the directional diagonal makes it look like dangerous. So along with like the red coloring also indicates like energy or danger. So it's really cool. And then, of course, we have this one up here where it's more like, you have more rounded shapes, you have like softer edges and that kind of thing. So you have like a more gentle kind of like appearance, which is really cool. Yeah, it's really good. I like this. Sorry, I have to keep taking drinks of water here because allergies are like putting me through like Sunday super slam. All right. I like the pizza. That's awesome. Got a slice of pizza. She is ready to go for her day. Another redesign of Luna. She was given the longer ears that combine Bat Pony and Cirrostraton Pegasi features, along with a more curved horn resembling that of a crescent moon, as well as a slight uh, Vitiligo. I never know how to say that, but I do like that. That's cool when people have like the two-tone skin and patterns. I was craving pizza at the time of this drawing, so she's holding a slice. That's really cute. I like that. I like that you included like the status or your mood is pizza, so you put it with like this image here as you did it. But really nice like cell shading, like with a little bit of like a gradient and everything. Really cool redesigns. I like the accessories and the hair in the mane. I think that's really cute. Go to our next one here. Oh, we have Blitz. A redraw of a scene entitled The Full Moon from Hell of a Boss. Blitz confronting Stolas while he attempts to hold back his tears. Aww, it's so cute. Really, really well done. Like I said, the fact that this is all done with like a mouse is just like insane. Like absolute craziness. One of these days, I really need to watch the season 2 of Hell of a Boss. I haven't watched it yet, so I need to get on that. Ooh, a simple redraw of a post from It's Done 2000 on Twitter featuring the Pokemon Gengar. The eyes glow eerily as it reaches out from the darkness. This is Havoc's like favorite type of Pokemon. She loves like the ghost type Pokemon, so this is really really neat. I love the color choices. I'm not entirely biased with those color choices whatsoever. They're totally not all the colors I use all the time. Like this is really really cool, and like this would be awesome as a print with the holographic finish on it. It would look amazing. Yeah, I'm a sucker for anything that glows. You put a glow on something and I'm like, that's the best thing ever. That's my shit right there. Just a simple glow is all you need to impress Aniki. All right, so that is everything from Mana Mineko art. Like I said, they're super talented. I'm always impressed that they do this with the mouse and MS Paint. They have Ko-Fi commissions open. They have all 5 of their slots. So if you guys want some really cool, really neat MS Paint artwork from them, make sure to check out the link to their Ko-Fi there. All right, next up we have Scarewolf. Also, I like your new name, by the way. I think Scarewolf is pretty cool. 3 Sun Knight artworks. One is her being cool. The other one is an Invincible reference, and the third is Sun Knight versus Escanor from Seven Deadly Sins. And also, I made this art about bad teaching, about how bad teaching can lead to the end of the world, like a in a horror-like fashion. Check out the alts for more info. All right, so we have their MC here. This is Sun Knight. I used the Spider Gwen toy to make a reference. I even used that girl with the blonde pigtails with a really big axe from Kaiju number 8, since Sun Knight has the same body type as them. Oh, okay, I see. That's always a cool thing. Like that's actually like a really advanced technique is taking 2 separate references or more and blending elements of each to get the desired like posing and the desired look that you're going for. So yeah, this is really cool. I like this. I need to bring back the OC art raffle. I do have it back up on my Discord, but I need at least 10 submissions. So I have enough for like the wheel spin. But essentially what I would do is you guys would submit your OCs to me. And then I would place them in like a wheel spin app. And then I would spin the wheel after every Saturday art share. And then every Monday, whoever wins, I would do an illustration like a bust up illustration of that OC for free on stream. It was a lot of fun and it also helped bolster like my portfolio a lot, so I really need to bring that up. So if you guys would please join my Discord. There is a channel for submitting those OCs. And those of you that have already submitted OCs, if you could please like resubmit them in that channel so I could get that going again, I would love to draw your characters. So, you know, something to look forward to. But yeah, this is really neat. I like this. And then this one is like Invincible here. The woman on the left is one of my fans, OCs on X. I did that for him because he also did one for me, so I thought I'd make one for him just to say thank you. So they did like essentially like an art trade here where they went back and forth, just kind of like an unofficial indirect art trade. So this one here thought they were going to be cool and do their little like teleport thing like behind Sun Knight here, but Sun Knight already knew that they were going to attack from the back and has like a blast of like, the sun's rays ready to go to yacht them off into the stratosphere. Really cool. I like it. I like their like kind of like almost like Saiyan like armor here that they got going on. And this is a big old muscle mommy too, so hell yeah. Oh yeah, they should have put like a little uh Rafiki up here with a Simba, the Hamna. That would make it even better, actually. That'd be hilarious. Just like a silhouette, even just to like kind of like hints at it. That'd be hilarious. Or it could be like Nolan holding up like Mark up here or something like that. Once because like, spoiler alert, their relationship gets better like later in the series, so. All right, and then we have like a death battle like intro here. Man, Escanor's face looks like he's like just like about to chow down on like some ass or something. Like he is like so this is so crazy. This is a crazy face from Escanor here. But I really like this one. This one's really cool. It's like very dramatic and stylized. They took my advice that I gave them before of doing like the putting the shadow over the entire image and then having the backlighting or the rim lighting to like light it up. So out of all people facing Sun Knight, I think Escanor from Seven Deadly Sins, even though I'm not a fan of the show, but I still do my research on him because I was curious, would be a good find since they are both sun related characters. Even though Sun Knight has no kill rule, but then again, they put Spider Man in a death battle against Batman, and Spider Man killed him. Well, I mean, Spider Man has like actual like super strength, so it's like I don't know. It would be a thing that could easily happen. No, it's okay, Pensy. I get it. I accidentally I forgot to set an alarm, so that's why this is a little late. But it kind of worked out because you get to, come in on it, and we're not too terribly far. So yeah, this would be like an interesting matchup here because like Escanor gets stronger as the sun gets more towards like noon when the sun is at like the highest peak. But I almost kind of wonder if Sun Knight's abilities might actually backfire in this scenario. Because him getting exposed to more sunlight might just make him stronger. I'm also not a fan of Seven Deadly Sins. Like I think I watched 3 seasons of it. Like the first season, even though I don't really care for the art style, the animation was actually really well done in the first season. And then it just kind of like shit the bed as it like went on longer. And then you had like the infamous like frames of like Meliodas like laying on the bed looking like a child drew it. But yeah, actually, I don't know about Sun Knight's abilities here, but I think Escanor uh takes the win on this one because like I said, he gets stronger with more sunlight. So and also he's like an arrogant asshole, so and Sun Knight has like a very nice personality, and I don't think that would work very well against Escanor here, so I'm sorry, Scarewolf. I got Escanor in this one. That's what my money's on. Unless, of course, she just dodges until his power runs out. Yeah, his face, he looks like he is just ready to chow down on some booty. He's gonna eat the booty like groceries, as that infamous lyric. I did that in an animation course, and this is why I should be a horror writer. School can be really tough, especially when teachers are the ones bullying you and putting you down all the time in life, which can lead high school students to not wanting to come to school. That's bad because if no students come to school, then humanity will be lost, bringing the end of the world because teachers failed you. Which is why you should always not be too hard on your students. Always, teachers should always be patient. They should be there to support and inspire you and make sure you are on the right path, in the right career path. And remember, bad teachers will doom us all. Just super metal at the end there. Um, but yeah, no, I agree. Like, it looks like Scarewolf might live in another country where teaching's a little different. I know in like a lot of other countries they actually try to set you up for a career. Um which here in the US that is not what happens. Not at all. You get taught like the most like, well, not all of it's useless, but a lot of it is just very like inane information and subjects that don't really set you up for the future. Where other countries are more like, especially when you get into like the high school range, are more like a tech school to prepare you for whatever profession you would like to get into, which I think is a much better way to educate young people and get them like more prepared. Because like I was not prepared at all for like the working world. When I graduated like high school and when I got out of college. So hey, Cacho, how's it going? Oh yeah, Nirvana nostalgia for sure. R.I.P. Mr. Cobain. Jeez. But anyway, yeah, I agree with this that teachers should be really supportive and whatnot. Like, every now and then you get like really good teachers. Sometimes you get some that are just okay, and then it's actually been a rare experience for me where I've had like a really bad teacher that was like not like their personality and the way that they approach things wasn't like the best, like they were harsh. Um, I've only had a few, maybe like I don't know, like two maybe that I really didn't care for. I had one art teacher I didn't like because she used to like come over and like I'd be working on something and she would just like lean over my shoulder and start like making changes to my artwork and like sometimes in pen and I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, lady? Like, how dare you? Like, I'm about to RKO you right now. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, I haven't had that many teachers that I really disliked. For the most part, they were either just like okay or they were amazing. Yeah, I mean, schooling in America just sucks. I went over a rant I think last stream where we learn about fucking the Civil War for like 8 years of schooling, which is stupid as shit. It was like there were very few times, like I had a couple of history classes where I actually got a good teacher where they're like, we're gonna like speed run the Civil War and then we're gonna try to get you as far as we can. I had one teacher that got us like up to almost like modern like times, which was really cool. I always prefer world history to American history, so anyway, I ranted a whole lot. Sorry about that. So that was everything from Scarewolf. As you can see, they're really cool. They have a really cool like universe going on. They even think of like matchups with like other established like IPs like against their characters and stuff. So that's a really neat idea doing like a death battle thing. That might be kind of cool actually to do with like some of my OCs, have them how they would match up against other characters. Let's see. I had a clarinet teacher who told me to never eat dinner because I'm too fat to play the clarinet well. What the fuck? That's so shitty. Are you serious? Were they trying to say that like you didn't have like the lung power? Which is also not true because like, if you look at a lot of like the famous um people in like jazz bands that like play like trumpets and stuff, like a lot of those guys were like they were not small dudes and like they were just like piping it out. Civil War, like 1 month to teach when Spider-Man appeared. Hell yeah. No, if they were teaching that Civil War, that'd be sick. I'd be down for that. The American Civil War is just really dumb and stupid. It's basically like the South didn't want to do work and they didn't want to read. So they tried to secede, which is just, I always say like, people give like immigrants and people from other countries like a hard time, but man, are white people some of the laziest, like most like hateful people on the planet, and I'm one of them. And I'm not like them. I strive every day to not be like that. So it's so mean. Yeah, he just felt my stomach and said it was too squishy. Okay, boundaries like consent. Like what the fuck? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like feeling you up and body shaming you, like that could have been a lawsuit. I mean, I know like America is like famous for frivolous lawsuits, but that's actually like that's holding water. That's like really like. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the way things are going here, there might be another one coming up. Like really, like I feel like we're pretty much on the brink. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say too much towards that and have my Mr. NSA man come busting through my window and like drop kick me in my head and tase me and take me to Guantanamo Bay or something, which is a very real possibility these days. So anyway, that's everything from Scarewolf. Just make sure you guys support them. We're gonna work to make their like Unmasked series a reality here. Yeah, you guys gotta bust me out like Sean Connery in The Rock. For those of you that are old enough to remember that movie, you gotta bust me out of there. I'm all for it. All right, next up we have the Big Cheese. Oh, I haven't actually, yeah, I haven't seen your work in a little while here. I hope you're doing well, the Big Cheese. Hey, how are you? Oh, he's asking how I am too. I'm doing all right. I didn't post in your art shares for a long time. Oh, that's okay. No worries. All right, the alt here is Kira tying her hair up in the desert temple. That's true, a getaway driver. I mean, I used to drive like an insane person, like when I was young. So I could just like haul ass out of there. Like once you get me out of like my like shackles and if they haven't like waterboarded me entirely too much to operate a vehicle, then I could actually do the driving. So but yeah, this is really cute. I like this. They've done a background here and they've done a oh my god, yeah. I'd be so upset too. Like, I don't know. I would probably get shot like trying to like defend you from like ICE. Like fuck ICE. Like I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get political here, but they are the biggest fucking losers on the goddamn planet. Like absolutely fuck the Gestapo for real. Um I know. It's like I want to be able to like hang out with like my international friends if they actually like come here or if I go to their country and I don't want some fucking like neck beard like double chin like racist asshole like deporting them. So now you guys know where I stand. So I'm not holding back on that. They're fucking losers. Um anyway, Back to the artwork here. Yeah, you got a nice like focal Gaussian blur on the background here to keep the main center of interest in the highest focus here. This is like a really this is a really difficult pose to do. Like anything with like the arms over their head, it's like kind of like the anatomy behind it makes it really interesting and difficult here. Especially, when you get into things like where like the armpit connects and stuff like that. I mean, Kacho, like it's so bad where, you know, your visa wouldn't matter. Like if you just came to our country and you had a slight accent or you just like looked like you were from somewhere else, they're terrible. Like trust me, you don't want to take the risk. And I would be really, really, really upset if something happened to you, so yeah. Yeah, we were talking about the NSA busting through my window and like taking me to Guantanamo. So we're trying to formulate a jailbreak to help get me out here. So, but yeah, this is really cool. I like this character. I always am a fan of like the blacked out Scaleras with like the lighter eyes. Like you could even add like a little like glow effect, and then I'd really be like, ooh, glow. Hell yeah. And then we have Stranded showing off his powers. Ooh, this is cool. He's got like the creepy mask. He's got like some veins going up his neck. This would be like a really cool like collaboration character with Scarewolf's like Unmasked series. Like I think the Big Cheese and Scarewolf should get together to do some collaboration pieces or maybe like an art trade or something. I think that'd be super sick. But yeah, it's really cool. I like it. I like the color, the particular color that they chose for like his powers is like one that I actually like to use quite a bit here, kind of like the tealish like green where it's got some blue to it. And back in the day, this color green in the background actually used to be my favorite color, but now I like prefer like blues and like magentas and purples and stuff like that. I don't know, I just gravitate more towards them now. And then we have Lynn in the swamp having a great time. She's got her like fishnet goth outfit going on here, which I am all for. We got some booty on display here. We need to take the liquefy tool here and give her some cheeks. Give her some more cheeks. That's just my one request. It's not a critique, it's a request. Just plump the cheeks up there. But it's a really cute pose. I really like it. It looks like somebody like called her name and she was like happy to hear for him. So, ooh, you streamed. Hell yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I'm following you then. Okay, I'm already following you. What are you going to be doing that on Saturdays or do you have like different days that you're going to be streaming? I always like to try to pop into other people's streams too so I can support you guys as well. It's not a one-way street here on my Twitch channel. I'm here to support everybody, so. Granted, sometimes I might be busy, like I might just lurk, but okay, I'll be on the lookout. Make sure if you want, you can post when you're streaming too in the Discord so we all know so we can all show up and be there to support you. But yeah, I really like this. This is super cute. Of course. And I love your artwork. I don't think I've gotten to it yet, but we're gonna I think we're almost there. So that was everything from the Big Cheese. I always love seeing your progress, the Big Cheese. You are absolutely just like slaughtering the art journey here. You've only been drawing for 2 years and it already looks so good. I see improvements every single time I see your work, so keep it up. You're awesome. Oh shit, it's the Final Fantasy X like rock out music. The butt rock that plays during the intro in the beginning of the game. All right, next up here we hell yeah, they're queso. Queso's delicious. That's so good. I actually as far as Mexican cheeses, I actually really like the when it's in a when it comes in like a little wheel, like so good. It's kind of like it's almost kind of like a farmer's cheese. Yeah, you got a headbang to the super. I don't know why I always call this like genre of music. I call it butt rock because it's just kind of like I don't know, like it's not necessarily good, but it's like enjoyable. It's kind of like having like almost like a guilty pleasure or something. I don't know. All right, we're up with Pensy here. Hell yeah. I might know this person. They might be in the chat right now. Being awesome. Yeah, butt rock. Let's go. Hey, Nympha, how's it going? Parmesan cheese is really good too. As a white person, which automatically makes me an expert on cheese, there's so many cheeses I like. Like they're so good. It doesn't like me. It doesn't like my stomach at all. But yeah, I got some water. Thank you. Yeah, it is Pensy's time to shine, and I'm taken away from it by talking about cheese. Pensy wrote, "Here, my picks of my angel, Lucia. Monday was her birthday, so I did two picks for her and got one more coming tomorrow. I hope I finish it in time for your art share. It's another OC's birthday." Ooh, sharp cheddar. I love I love extra sharp cheddar. The sharper the better. Hell yeah, the bunny girl outfit with like the embarrassed face. Oh yeah, I like it. And oh my god, her poor back. It's a good thing that Lucia is like an angel here. I don't think angels are allowed to have back problems, so that is true. Cheese is one of those things that you put it on just about anything and it makes it better, or you pair it with it. You know, like it makes you fancy by pairing it with things. Like even if it's not like supposed to be paired with it, if you're like, well, I have a super fine Gouda here that goes complements well with the blah 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 blah. Hey, Renivan, how's it going? Welcome to our stream. Ooh, am I following you yet? Oh, I am already following you. Hell yeah. Yeah, welcome to the art stream. Oh, Vegeta came to looking at me like, why the hell haven't you played with me yet? Oh man, no. Dude, goat cheese is the goat as well. Like, no joke. Like, making like a sandwich with like some toasted bread and some turkey and like a fruit spread, like a some sort of jam and then some goat cheese. Oh my god, it's so good. Or you could do like avocado as well. That's also really good. Like Doritos and Coke. Yeah. Yeah, I have these Cool Ranch Doritos or like extra spicy nacho flavored Doritos to go with my Coca-Cola beverage. Oh. Oh, Vegeta, I'll play with you after stream, buddy. I promise. I promise. He's looking at me, giving me bedroom eyes. Yeah, hey, you should try it. It's a very soft cheese, so it's like really good for like spreading or if you put it on like say crackers or you could even put it on like a bagel or something like that. It's really good. It's like really like creamy and delicious. Vegeta, please stop. Stop, dude. Go away. I promise I'll play with you when I'm done. I'm not trying to be mean. And then, ooh, we got an alternate kind of version here with a little bit of a different pose. We have Kika made her put this one on. Hell yeah. So it's like a super like goth mommy kind of like nun inspired, like with like the little cuffs here and everything. Vegeta, buddy. I love you too, man, but here, do you want to sit in my lap while I do the art share? Gotta make sure you don't mess. There we go. Okay. All right, I got my kitty in my lap here. Hopefully he doesn't walk all over my keyboard during the middle of this. Yeah, the outfit is really cool. I actually really like it. I like that it has like the upside down pentagram star along with like, you know, all the like crosses and stuff. It's pretty cool. I like it. Yes, she is dumpy thick. That is true. Vegeta does need his own little stream. So I was thinking about it when we have a guy are planning like one of our dreams is to have a house in Japan. So likely what we'll do is we'll set up a room and then we'll set up a camera in there. So he can have his own little like playroom and that'll be like we can like live stream. You know, you guys can check in with the Prince of all kitties and see what kind of antics he gets up to. Most of the time he's following me around though, so uh I don't plan on showing my face until I get like a lot of subscribers. So, you know, if you guys want to see me for real, like uh let's get up to 10,000 subscribers. And then I'll show my face. Yeah, he's super adorable. You know what? I did I put any pictures of him in the Discord? If I haven't, I will. Buddy, you gotta just sit. He's extremely demanding about play. I play with him at least twice a day. For like, you know, like 15-20 minutes a pop. Like I run him around until he like looks like absolutely exhausted or just like stops responding. He really likes we have like a stick with a string and then it has like this like fuzzy worm thing that's like super that shows the 12 abs from worming. You know, we'll put it just a little bit higher. We'll do 15,000 subscribers for that. And I am actually working on I have been working out consistently again. I want to have my slutty waist once again because I used to have a slutty waist. For point of reference, I'm like 5'10", and when I was in my best shape, I had a size 29 waist for my jeans, which is like super small. Like I had like a really like skinny slutty waist and I was pretty ripped at the time, but now I'm a little soft right now, so I'm working on it. No, your parents are allergic. Oh, that's really nice of you. I love animals in general, so I wouldn't say like I'm a cat or a dog person. I love them both like equally. I just cats are a lot easier to take care of. I spoil Vegeta like he's my own child, so I pretty much consider him my son. So I am like always cuddling with him. I am always like, you know, playing with him. Like he's extremely spoiled. So don't let him fool you into thinking he doesn't get attention because he does. Ooh, here we go. Hell yeah, this is the one you were talking about last night. Happy birthday to my elf Hanako. Been playing a lot of Code Vein too. Had to draw her in it. Hope you like it. I tried having fun with some shading and lighting on this one. Ooh, hell yeah. Pensie's leveling up again here with the techniques. Pensie's allergic to them too, jeez. I took care of my sister's kitty for a year and I fell in love with her. Yeah, they're like, you know, like male cats are incredibly like friendly for the most part, so uh I prefer to have like a male cat if I'm gonna have either cats. But yeah, this is awesome. I love this. You got your rim lighting here looking fantastic from like a secondary like light source here. You got your shading going on, you got your midtones. You even have like your cast shadows here. Looking really good, Pensy. This is definitely like a level up for the Pensy here with like the advanced techniques that you got going on here. Hell yeah. It's sus. Yeah, it kind of looks like um is that kind of like what you would use in like the first Code Vein where you would get like your gifts and like teleport from and stuff like that? Like it's essentially like a save point where you go to these, I think, to like level up and whatnot. So yeah, it's creepy. Well, Code Vein is about vampires, so it's like vampires in like a post-apocalyptic world. I just finished the first one recently, and then last night I helped Havoc beat it as well. So on stream, I really like it. It's cool. It was my first Souls-like game, so it was nice to actually complete a Souls-like game. So anyway, super cool, super good, Pensy. I love it. Go ahead and like and share that. All right, so that was everything from Pensy here. As you can see, Pensy is awesome. Pensy is one of the most supportive and nicest person that I have ever met online here, and is an OG right from the beginning of my stream. So make sure you give Pensy lots of love there. Yes. All right, next up we have Aaron Boy Verhel. Verhel wrote, "Hi, Art Aniki. Thanks for hosting another Art Share stream. Hey, you're super welcome. This time I got 4 characters from Maydol. I want to showcase the Felians of Sin, demons who represent one of 7 deadly sins. Here are pride, lust, wrath, and envy, respectively. Their names, description, etc. will be on the alts." All right, so the first one we got here, let me make that a little bit bigger here. We have Maximilian, the Felion of Pride. And he literally is playing an axe, which is super cool. I really like that. Hey, just in time, man. Hell yeah. Having a cat is not an option anymore. I have 2 dogs, a Pomeranian, and a kind of Shiba Inu from Temu. Husky plus everything else. My very first pet I ever had was a Pomeranian. He was super cool. He could say "I love you" in barks, like he would actually say "I love you" in barks, which was crazy. I was born in the northeast of the US, so we had a lot of hawks up there, and I always had to go outside like with him because he was super small and the hawks would try to pick him up. So, if I did have a dog, I definitely do want like a Shiba. I think that would be super awesome. Oh, of course I liked it. Talk from Team of this. Hell yeah. I love like he's got an axe here that he plays. Kind of like a double entendre here with like the guitar, like, ugh, I'm shredding out my axe. Yeah. Um he wasn't like a mini Pomeranian, but he was still pretty small. He was like maybe the size of like a small cat. Maximilian the Felion of Pride. He's the self-proclaimed Prince of Fel. He's not. Fel is actually ruled by Mephistopheles and other Felian overlords. with a guitar axe that he uses to shred his foes in the stage. He was once a prideful human prince who disregards his kingdom and people and was ultimately punished in a life of damnation by an archangel disguised as a sickly old woman who tested his humility in his final dying moments. Hold on, I gotta do something real. Sorry, he does this thing where if he's trying to get my attention, he'll go into like the bathroom or the kitchen and he'll start like opening and closing and slamming the cabinet doors to get attention, so I had to put him in the other room. I love him, but man, is he like demanding. Yes, it is from Bleach. I love the Bleach soundtracks. Like OG Bleach and OG Naruto soundtracks were some of like the best bangers of like all time for like anime. I gave him deer antlers for horns to make it shaped like a crown. Plus, deer are a symbol of royalty in medieval times. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's a really good idea. Um, no, he usually like if he's gonna wake me up, he usually wakes me up around like 8ish, and I just get up and I give him like a few of like some greenies. He really likes those. He's like obsessed with them. And then he usually leaves me alone until I get up again. Um, he's not really that bad. I also like before we go to get bed, I had these like super calming like sleepy treats. So I kind of like give him a bunch of those so he goes to bed with us. All right, moving on to the next one here. We have Lilith, the Filion of Pride. I think this of Lust. There we go. Sorry, it said Pride down here. Lilith, the Filion of Lust. One of the more powerful succubus in the third ring, always eager to engage in all sorts of debauchery with anyone, even tempting weak-willed mortals into her midnight embrace. She was once a lowly elf lady who had a complicated and unhealthy relationship with a noble man who took her as a concubine. She wishes to one day be severed from her connections with that man and perhaps discover what genuine love is. Aw, she's a succubus looking for real love. Hell yeah. Got a long haired chihuahua named Big Boss who would kiss my sis, Cat Blake, in the face. Aw. That's cute. I like it. I like that she's got like the boa thing going on here. Her little like dagger here almost looks like it's kind of like a key that could unlock the chains of your heart. And then she's got like the little oh, what are these called? Tassels like hanging from her shirt here, which is really cool. I like the pose. She's got like a different shape for her horns, which is really cool. I also like that these are from your fantasy world here, so they're not all like former humans necessarily. Like this one being an elf is pretty cool. Oh yeah, and then like the two tails. Or is this like a tail and then this one's a whip? Ah, yeah, yeah, it's a whip. That's what I thought. Yeah. Awesome. Hell yeah, I like it. Oh, look at this guy. Goraz, the Felion of Wrath, seething blades of annihilation. Goraz, the Felion of Wrath, an aggressive warrior and Maximilian's personal bodyguard. He is but one of many souls that make up the 700 legions, which he can summon through his glyph magic. Little is known about the individual of Goraz, only that he was among the 700 soldiers who died in a catastrophic battle. This guy is ready to go. He is like, this guy is always locked in. Like, there is never a moment where he isn't angry. He has never, ever, ever skipped bicep and tricep day here. Like, they're so big. I like his swords, though. His swords are fucking awesome. Those are really cool. Those blades of his are two-handed swords. He dual wields them. Hell yeah. Gotta love when you can got an OC that can like take like two-handers with one hand. That means they strong. So strong. Yeah, he does need a Snickers. Yeah, he just never stops screaming. Like he is always screaming. I'm like, what are you doing, Goros? He's like, oh, I'm relaxing. Just like non-stop screaming. I imagine he doesn't walk anywhere. He just spins with like his blades everywhere he wants to go, and like people get really pissed like when he shows up because he just like destroys everything like in his way as he's like spinning to his next location. Hell yeah. And then we have Fashia, the Fellion of Envy. Excuse me. Fashia, the Fellion of Envy, one of the lower ranked members of the Sins, she wields the legendary bow weapon Ouroboros and has a knack of growing new parts from things she is envious of. In life, she was a seamstress who grew envious of her sibling and friend being wedded, which ended with her killing both of them out of envy and then herself. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay, so I can see how she has like the different like things going on here. She's got some like hooves. She's got these kind of look almost like little like maybe like spider legs or something. Got some spikes, some goat horns here, and then she's got like kind of like almost like a bat or like dragon wing here. I like the bow design. The bow design's cool. The Ouroboros. Oh yeah. She only has the one wing. Does she like fly like kind of like in a circle when she flies? She's like off balance. Or does she like grab the wing with her like her other arm and just kind of float down from like objects? She can't fly at all. Well, maybe she could, like I said, maybe she could glide. She could like grab the tip here and put it like behind her head and then maybe jump off of something that's tall so she could like float down like a paratrooper. Or she could use like the wing to like slap away opponents that are like coming from like this side or something or like behind her. She just has a wing because she envious of other Falcons with both pairs of wings. That's cool. Yeah, she falls with style. I like that. Oh yeah. No, I like this. This is really cool. I like the idea of her taking parts of things that she is envious of and then applying them to herself. I think that's a really cool idea. Is Superman and Goku can even fly? Oh, if they can fly, yeah. She could always do like the cool thing where they can jump so high they might as well be flying. That'd be pretty cool. Well, anyway, that is everything from Aaron Boy Verhel here. I love seeing all of the different creatures and inhabitants of all the worlds that you create. Very creative, very cool stuff. I love all your designs. I cannot wait to see more from you next week, and I'm actually happy that like you're here too. For Bo, the Ouroboros has the special property of duplicating the shots. Shoot, that's why there's three arrows here. Oh, damn, that's broken. That's awesome. Hell yeah. That'd be cool if she could like switch it up too, where somebody's like expecting it to be a certain number of arrows, but she like can like randomize it so like they never get used to it. Hell yeah. I'm excited. By the way, you weren't here earlier. I'm trying to bring back my OC art raffle. So basically, what it is you join the Discord. There is a channel where you can place your OCs in there. And basically, what I do is like when I have at least 10 of them, I will throw all the OCs into a wheel spin app, and then I spin the wheel after every art share, and then whoever wins gets a free 8 by 11 like bust up or like waist up portrait from me. Oh, you already did it. Okay. Cool. I'm just trying to remind everybody because I need at least 10. And I know a lot of people had already put stuff in there, but I can't remember. I can't tell who was like from Twitter and who was from like Blue Sky now. So I kind of just need to like redo it. So like if anybody hasn't resubmitted already, please go ahead and resubmit that, and then I'll start doing those as my Monday streams where I work on the winner. Hell yeah. Cool, cool, cool. All right, next up we have Lin Lin. Lin Lin wrote, "Hello, Aniki. Thanks for hosting. Hey, you're very welcome. I'm a freelance illustrator who is looking to get back into character design. Because I want to get back to making some character concept art, I'm going to share some old concept art I made, including an unfinished sketch to motivate myself." Hell yeah. Ooh, thank you, Nepha. I appreciate it. Aw, shit. We only have like way too many more subscriptions until I show my face. So, that's I got 5 now. So, couple thousand to go there. Couple 100,000. But I really appreciate it. Yeah, ads suck. Like I hate ads so much. Uh, just a friendly reminder here: if you do have Amazon Prime, you can sub for free with your Amazon Prime. And I think there's a little button on my thing that I added that you can just click and it will automatically sub. So just a friendly reminder there. Anyway, back to the artwork. I turned on my headphones, man. That song just like way louder than the rest. You guys can hear me okay, right? Over the music, like the music's not too loud. Please let me know if the music's like ever too loud and I can turn it down. So we have Bridget the blonde, the widowed Mrs. Doyle. I like I like how her title is the blonde. Hell yeah. Thank you, Katsu. I appreciate it. Hell yeah, I like it. I like how she has like, this is like kind of like her like housewife kind of thing. And then this is like a detective mode here. The protagonist of a pulp style detective story. Ooh, I called it. Bridget Doyle is the widow of a well respected police officer. After being widowed, she leverages her connection at the police station through her husband and sets up her own PI business. The concept art shows her casual wear and outdoor wear. The casual wear being a peach toned house dress in 1940s styling. The outdoor wear includes a large light brown trench coat and hat. Her hairstyle is based on the Victory Roll style popularized during World War II. I like it. It's cool. Like I like some of these like older like hairstyles. I think they're kind of just neat. Like I mean, I couldn't imagine though like being a woman and having to, maintain and do this like, on the daily, like must be a huge pain in the ass. But I like how she's like, essentially taking being widowed in stride and like taking up the mantle of like what her husband did and bringing, those to justice like through her own like means and connections. Like that's really cool. I like that. Especially for something that's like, based in like the 40s, like that's like a really like progressive like storyline like for that time period. That's really cool. I like it. So let's do the next one here. We have Joan Anhart, the Black Widow. Dun dun dun. The femme fatale of a pulp style detective story. Joan Anhart is the widow of a wealthy businessman who inherited all his wealth after his death. People suspect that she killed her husband, but no one could prove it, gaining her the nickname of the Black Widow. The concept art shows her loungewear, which includes a black top, long skirt, white rose brooch, two necklaces, a feathered cap, black high heels, as well as a cigarette holder that never leaves her finger. Her outdoors wears includes a black trench coat with a fur collar, a hat with a veil over her face, a pipe replacing the cigarette holder, which also never leaves her finger unless she's pulling the trigger. I like that line. That's cool. Her face is based on the actress, oh my god, Anna May Wong. Cool. I'll have to look up this actress. Actually, you know what? I can do that right now. I have the power. I have the internet. Anna May Wong. Oh, I see. Cool. Hold on, let me bring that over on the screen. Let's see here. I'm trying to find one that's maybe the most like. There it is. Yeah, they did a pretty good job here translating. Hell yeah, definitely. You got like the eye shape down. You got the lips. Yeah, you did a great job. Hell yeah. I like that. That's cool. Yeah, she's pretty. All right, that's awesome. Awesome job there. A crocodile dragon with reed green scales, large tattered wings, armored bits on its legs, and orange pupils. I love its like expression here. It's like, ah! Like, fuck you, I'm a crocodile dragon. I'm a croco dragon. That's really neat. I like that. That's a cool idea of like maybe like an enemy in like a video game, like this is like the swamp dragon or something like that, because it's like a kind of crocodile theme there. We got like the over the top like kind of view here, how its body looks from the top. It's a really good job of doing like, different views here. Then we got the different like features. Hell yeah, I like it. All the different parts, so like it can be handed off to like the 3D team to create. And then we got Snicker here. We got some expressions. An unfinished sketch of a character design of a 10-year-old manipulator hacker for an abandoned battle royale style comic project. Ooh, that sounds cool. Pensy just wants to spread the hugs and the love to everything out there, regardless of race, species, uh, moral orientation. You know, doesn't matter. Pensy's got hugs for all. You're evil, doesn't matter. Pensy's gonna give you a hug. You're good, Pensy will give you a hug. You're a crocodile dragon, Pensy will give you a hug. I like it. Hell yeah, that's awesome. This is a really good like setup here for like a character sheet here with like you have the different expressions, you have like some views of different views of them, like some of their accessories. They've got like a little hacking computer that's like the size of a DS here. That's pretty convenient. And then they got like some boots with like their rolled up pants here. That's cool. And I like the name. The name's actually really cute too. If you're evil, you get a bigger hug. All right. Well, I'll have to turn to a life of evil here so I can get the best hugs from Pensy. Anyway, that's everything from Linlin. I think these are all super solid here. I definitely cannot wait to see like your updated ones. Definitely be super cool. But again, I do love to see like older art. It's just I know you said this is something you were gonna get into, so I'm looking forward to the ones that you're gonna create coming up here. So oh, probably. Yeah. I mean, Havoc is just so much cooler than me. So yeah, she absolutely she needs the biggest of the pugs. So By the way, she's gonna be streaming more now too, and we're gonna be doing like we're next week we're gonna experiment with the streams where we'll both be streaming at the same time, like together, like the collaboration stream. So, you guys could either tune into mine or you could tune into hers, and you would, you can see it from either my perspective or her perspective, but we'll both be on each other's screens with whatever we're doing. So, and there'll be a shared chat between you guys and her chat, so the chat will be merged. I'm excited for it. It'll be really cool. All right. Hell yeah, we have Cacho up next. Been patiently waiting here. Cacho wrote, Sup Art Aniki. This art share, I would like to show you this two illustrations of my characters, Eureka and Hilde, in her casual and heroine outfits, and two fan arts of Uma Musume, the horse girl anime. Mom, I'm on TV. Put the recorder on. Make sure you got it on what's it called? What was the thingamajiggy that records the shows? I can't remember the name of it. All right. Here we go. We have what is it the damn thing called? Where you can record TV shows. Jesus Christ. Oh well, I don't care. Yurika, it's a Japanese girl raised in America in a strict military environment. DVR. There you go. Thank you. Around 2 years prior the story, her powers appeared and joining the team and learning what being free of all the rules really means. I really like her hero outfit is like super super cool. I'm a big fan of like the Oni horns that she's got here. And if I remember right, she has like the big Oni club as like part of her design. So this is a really cool character. Kacho, definitely submit some of your characters on the art raffle channel if you haven't done that yet. I would particularly really like to get the chance to draw this character. I think that'd be super cool. We'll burn the CD and re-upload it to AOL. Hell yeah. I love statements that age me like crazy because I know what all of that is. Fucking AOL. I still remember my original AOL screen name back in the day was X Shirt Ninjas. Oh, it was X Shirt X Ninjas X. I don't know why. Like me and my friends we just remember that it used to be fun to play like ninjas as kids, where you would take like a t-shirt, right? And you'd put it over your head, but like the neck of the t-shirt would be over your nose, and then you could tie back like the sleeves, and thus you become the shirt ninja. So hell yeah, awesome! I'm so excited. Like I've definitely seen tons of like OCs from these art shares. Like I really want to draw, but the raffle makes it fair because like it's like randomized. So I don't want to just like decide to grab someone's like OC and have people get upset. So I've definitely had my eye on a couple OCs that I hope get picked soon. But yeah, like her like casual outfit is super super cute. I love like the whole flippiness and the volume of her hair. I also like it seems like her hair gets like even more like poofy like when she puts it up for like her hero outfit. I think that's cool too. I really like the expression as well. By the way, Kacho has a webtoon here, so make sure you go to Kacho's page and follow the link. Got to support a fellow webtoon creator here. All right, let's go to the next one here. So this one is Hilde. It's a third generation magical girl, and as her mother and grandmother before her, she is expected to be the team leader and lives with the constant pressure of it. Ooh, I like her hair too. It's really cool. It's like if Elsa was more badass. Like way more badass. Like the original designs for Elsa where she was like super cool. And then they nerfed her. I like her sword though. Her sword's really neat. She's definitely got like an outfit here in her hero outfit that looks like very like commander like with like the white like a white uniform with like the gold trim. I think that like those color choices work really well for like a person of like authority. You know, kind of like a navy outfit where like the captain of the ship wears white and has like gold trim and stuff like that. So I think that works really well. I love their goggles. Their goggles are really cool. Her casual outfit is also like super cute. I really like it. And then we have one of the horsey girls here who is definitely dumpy thick. Let's do the lip bite and let's do that. That's how I feel about this. But yeah, I really I'm always a fan of the characters with like the white hair and like the red eyes. It's almost kind of like an albino kind of like look to him. I think it's really cute. This is Gold Ship from Uma Musume. Pretty Derby is a wild, unpredictable, and hilarious horse girl known for her chaotic antics and incredible racing talent. The animation for this show is just absolutely like insanity. Like it's so like top tier, it's nuts. Um it just I don't know, I always find it interesting like what gets like so insanely popular, especially with anime, how they can take like not necessarily like they can take not only inanimate objects and turn them into cute girls and make a popular show, but they can also take like different like animals or sports that wouldn't normally be exciting and cool and make them actually pretty cool. Like, what was it that I watched some anime? It was about some sport that like you wouldn't think would be interesting, and then they made it really cool. Can't remember what it was, but I don't know. Anime is the goat for like taking a thing and then making it better. Then we have a work in progress of Manhattan Cafe from Uma Musume. Pretty Derby is a quiet, mysterious horse girl with a calm demeanor, often seen accompanied by an unseen presence possessing strong caffeine addiction. I can relate. Oh, so she's got like a either like a stalker or like a ghost thingy that like follows her around or something. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they took horse racing, turned it into an anime, but instead of having like people riding horses, like the horses are girls that just tear ass like so much, so intensely. I don't know, it looks like hype as fuck, and I never like watched it. So I might have to watch it at some point. But yeah, this is like super cute. I love the expression. I love the pose here. Uh RIP to the horse that dies recently. No. Spoiler alert, one of the horses dies. But yeah, great stuff. I love this. I can't wait to see what you do with this work in progress here. All right, that is everything from Kacho Mancer here. As you can see, they are super talented. I love your webtoon here. I need to read some more of it. I have read some of it. I really enjoy it thus far. So make sure you guys follow Kacho. Make sure that you support them in their webtoon journey here. Your artwork is fantastic. I love your designs, and you're an awesome person. So thank you so much for participating in the art. And the part all the horse exists or existed and the races really happened. Yeah, like it's cool that they can do that where it like take things that are actually real and translate them here. Alrighty. We have Adam's Art. Also, special thank you so much to Adam's Art. Adam's Art did just commission me on VGen, and I will be working on that this weekend. If you are watching this, I did send you a DM so I could get a little bit of clarification on the commission. So if you could message me back whenever you see this, that would be fantastic. So I can go ahead and get started. If I don't hear back from you, I guess I'll just go ahead and get started, and hopefully it is what you're looking for. So anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Adams Art Road, thanks for the tag. Sorry for missing the last few weeks. This week's lineup includes the piece I made to celebrate Asexual Visibility Day. Nice. A piece of concept art for a project I'm working on with Pydia. A fake AI drawing I made by hand as part of an April Fool's joke. And my Sona with a milkshake. Oh, I see what we're doing here. Okay. Also, don't worry about missing any of the art shares. Like, I will never stop tagging you guys. Like, once you participate, the only way I'll stop tagging you is if you actually like request me to not tag you anymore. So, luckily, I don't have anybody that's done that. So, oh, I love your little like your leaf Sona is so cute. Like, I absolutely love it. Happy Asexual Visibility Day. Yeah, I have a couple people that I've met that are ace. Um, it's definitely a thing that people should recognize and people should respect. Um, there's just some people that they're just not about like the that kind of aspect of life and things, and everybody has to respect that and recognize that they do exist, and you know that kind of thing. So if you get rejected by an ace person, like don't be upset at them because that's just how they feel and how they orient themselves. So anyway, I really like this. This is really cool. It's really cute. We got like video here cooling off with like a fan here in the bathroom, maybe, or is this like a sink? I don't know. I'm having a little trouble telling here, but it kind of looks like they're waking up and oh yeah, they're waking up and they're stretching and yawning. And this is like the view from the mirror. Ah, I'm silly. I'm so sorry, Adam Sart here. I for some reason I thought this was like a fan and that they were hot and it was like blowing like their hair and stuff. I misinterpreted it. That is my fault. But then I saw like the toilet and the shower back here, and I'm like, oh, this must be the sink, and this is the view from the mirror. Cute stuff. I like it. That's awesome. Nice little like kind of candid casual shot here of them waking up in the morning. I like their freckles too. And then we have the generated by Foley AI. I love it. Hell yeah. Get them clankers. Get them. Get them. RKO them. Like Stone Cold stun them. Power bomb them through like a table full of glass and tacks. I love it. I love that they have like the Salvador Dali like kind of like melty face going on here. They have entirely too many fingers. They have too they have too many belly buttons. Uh, with like the spider coming out, and then like the legs are like melted together. That's so funny. I love that. This is a great idea. This is a hilarious way. Like you could oh, this is what we should do to sabotage AI. We should draw really, really like fucked up stuff like this where it's got like way too many of everything and then purposely submit it to like the to AIs. That way we're like sabotaging them. We're like poisoning the well. You know what I mean? With like art that's like already messed up, so it just like gets trained on all the messed up art. Ooh, I'm about to start a new trend here. We're gonna place the C4 on the mainframe. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get our little like heist outfits on, our little sabotage outfits on, and then we're gonna draw like extra jacked up art and feed it to AI. Yes. Yes. AI anarchy. Down with the clankers. I do have to stop using that term once AI becomes sentient though, because like, I'm not trying to be racist once it actually has consciousness, but right now it is nowhere near that. It is just a language model that like CEOs want to trick you into thinking that it's like really thinks. It certainly doesn't. This is awesome. I love this. Hell yeah, your little soda's going to town on this drink here. Hell yeah. This little leaf is getting all the hydration it could possibly do. It's gonna fill up all its cells so it can make all the chlorophyll and do all the photosynthesis. Oh yeah, that's amazing. I love your little Sona character. Like it's just so impossibly cute. Please let me know if you ever like make stickers or keychains, and I will purchase one from you. Oh, speaking of which, I need to get our keychains done at some point. Hell yeah, maybe that's what I'll do with like some of my commission money is I'll get the keychain at least for me so I can have chat on my keys. So hell yeah. So that is everything from Adam's art. As you can see, they are super cool. They have like a great personality. I love the visibility that you're promoting with like the asexual visibility and that you promote characters that have like realistic like proportions and whatnot. So, you know, characters are allowed to like be imperfect. You don't have to fit the corporate standard that everybody tries to is kind of like programmed to. So I appreciate that. Well, yeah, next up we had PSM, aka Prime Star Mangaverse. Prime Star wrote, "Hi there, it's good to be here again. Hey, it's good to have you. Check out my recent artworks. You're going to love it. I know I will. All of your artwork. I love your artwork. It's fantastic. It's like a trip down nostalgia lane for me. This is Susie wielding her signature katana, the Immaculate Muramasa. It's Susie's most prized possession that was given to her by her older sister during the days on planet Dizidia, as she was one of the 16 royal princesses ruling the Kaf sector. The sword is capable of slicing through the most sturdiest of metals and armor. Ooh, so it like ignores defense. That's a pretty sick blade. I like that she has like the blacked out eyes. That's really cool. And her outfit kind of gives me almost like a OG Dragon Ball like Red Ribbon Army kind of like, vibes. Also like her different colored like nail polish. And then she's got like the cool like the blue flames here as like tattoos, which is a really nice touch. I think the background looks really nice too. I really like the color choices. Looks awesome. Also, Prime Star, make sure you put some of your OCs in the OC art raffle. Wheat woot, wheat woot. This is your reminder if you haven't done it. I haven't looked at it in a while, so maybe that's my bad, and then there is actually enough in there, and I am just a bad Aniki and slacking, so I will check that after stream. Let's see. So this one is Black Sunset, one of the main elite members of the Justice Guild in Full Metal Spectre Blue. Shiva, oh my god, I'm gonna say this right. Monarche, aka Black Sunset, is another member of the Justice Guild's elite squad known as the Sentinels. She has power over fire and super speed to overwhelm her enemies. Like the other members of the guild, Black Sunset is I think this is supposed to be selfless and likes to bask in maybe is selfish and likes to bask in the fame and glory of heroism. She believes that the civilians should look up to superheroes as their superiors. Oh, so she's like a superhero supremacy person. Speedster like type superheroes always some of like the most like is the raffle just on Discord? Yes. Uh the reason why I do that is because I want to get more people to join the Discord and be part of our community. So it's kind of like a little like hook on a string there, like, hey, join the Discord and I might do some art of your character. You might also come in here and make a bunch of new friends and love it. And possibly be part of like my art team when I have a business. Just saying. Just super saying. But yeah, I really like this. I think it's cool that she like either doesn't have a mouth or we can't like see it here. I like the blue hair and I really like her like makeup. Like this like big splash of blue up here towards the top is like a really good like design choice to detract from all the oranges and reds, so it brings like a ton of attention up here. Really, really cool. And also having like super speed and fire powers would be like hella cool. This is an Easter themed drawing of Starlit and Aurora dressed as super sexy bunny gals. Hell yeah. I might make this into a cover art for a future issue. Ooh, hell yeah. Definitely here. Hold on. We gotta we gotta do this for them too. There we go. Hell yeah, I like this. I'm always down for some bunny girl outfits. I always think it's super cute. Yeah, maybe you and Primestar could get together and do like, ooh, that actually might be kind of like a fun, like maybe a Discord thing we do where we each take like a like one of our OCs. It doesn't have to be a girl, it could be a guy, or it could be somebody who identifies however they would like, and put them in a all in bunny outfits and make it into like a wallpaper. Like that'd be super cool. That might be like a really cool like kind of like Discord like group art project that we could do where everybody like adds their character in a bunny outfit. All right, and then we have a full Metal Spectre blue lineup here. This is the roll call for the secondary main antagonist faction in Full Metal Spectre Blue, the Scarlet Troop slash Sirens. Syndra, head of the Segan Stealth Force. Man, that's alliteration there. Dealing with stealth operations and sabotage. She is the youngest of the generals and plays very dirty. So we got this one up here. Ooh, she's like in some sort of like wild, crazy, like blade shrimp kind of outfit here. Uh, Barony, one of Lilith's enforcers and generals of the Scarlet Star Pirates. She is the head of the Tianzi division and delves in science and R&D. Oh, I see. So she's kind of like a mermaid kind of outfit here. She's got like her like diver outfit, and she's got this like cool like crystal like trident here. That's true. A swimsuit illustration for summer. That is true. We could do that. We do still have a good amount of summer left, so maybe we could do that. Zoe, by the way, if you guys ever want to submit like ideas for things that we could all work on in the Discord, please go for it. Like, I'm not always good at coming up with those kind of things or organizing them for that matter. Zoe of the Roshba strike team, where all the women are Beast Gals and they are shock troopers on the front line. Ooh, hell yeah. There you go, Pensy. There's your furry right there. Your furry muscle mommy on top of it. It would only be better for you if she wasn't wearing boots. Then it would be like peak, like Pensy coated. Then of course we have Dizzy Susie is in charge of the CAF division in the Scarlet Star Troop that deals with the supernatural and occult. Oh, so that's why she's like kind of spoopy. Oh, I get it. And she's got like the seals and stuff. Okay, that makes sense. Lilith's partner in crime and lover, Livy Donner. She is Lilith's first mate of the Scarlet Star Troop and commander of the Shedar Elite Guard. Hell yeah. I remember seeing this character a couple times here. Okay, I like her a lot. Also, what that mean, Aniki? I don't have a problem. No, not at all. There's no problem whatsoever. And finally, there's Princess Lilith, the women's ringleader of the troop calling the shots and one of the most feared women in Triangulum. Hell yeah. We got a big, like, giant, like, succubus demon woman. Hell yeah. And I love, like, her tattoo that she's got going up. That's hot. I like that. Good stuff. Hell yeah. She gets the biggest hug. That's awesome. All right, so that is everything from Prime Star Mangaverse. As you can see, they are super talented, super cool. I love seeing the breakdown of all of your characters and teams and whatnot. Make sure you guys go and read their comic, get them lots of support. Make sure you share it as much as possible so we can make their dreams come true. I also like to put OC appearance on my webcomic. If you want your OC to appear, tell me. Ooh, yeah, I need to do that for mine too. So I was thinking it would be cool, uh, and I brought this up before, where old comics used to have either fan art or just art in general at the end of their comic to show it off, like show off different artists. So once I get back on to doing my webtoon, I kind of want to do that as well, where I share like other people's artwork like at the end. But that's also like a really good idea to put like, someone else's OC in like a panel somewhere or something like that. That'd be cool. I like that idea. Sorry, I'm sucking down some more coffee. I I also stayed up too late playing Expedition 33, so good. I can't gush about it enough. Thanks for hosting Keychain Wrote. Sharing my older artworks. Hell yeah. In fact, my next chapter is a crossover with the Friends characters that I've been planning for years. Ooh, that's exciting. I'll have to check that out. Hell yeah, we got the vampire buddy. Oh, this is actually a really cute pose. I like this, where they're like kind of like, doing like the cute putting your hand and your head on the back of like someone that's like shorter's like head. It's like a really like comfy kind of cute like way to like hang out. I like it. That's great. Oh, this one's cute too. It's like they're it's like he's got the bad and the good on his shoulder. He's like, "Do I eat this girl?" And then one's like, "Dude, totally eat her." And the other one's like, "Nah, she's a friend, not food." Can't stay up late, Aniki. Elders need their bedtime by 5. Ouch. That is true. That is true. I am an old. I self-identify as an old, so yeah, that is true. As someone who's old enough to remember when the internet was first a thing, that is true. It's such a weird thing to even think about that like there are people that I talk to now that never got to experience like dial up, the worst goddamn internet on the planet. But it was cool when it first came out, so. But yeah, I really like this image. That's awesome. Ooh, and then this one's cool. This one's like a wallpaper here. This will work really well for like a desktop background kind of thing, leaning up against them. Ooh, another like wallpaper one. I like this one as well with like the running, and then you got like the cool like little like graphic things. Oh my god, it was so bad. Like trying to sneak on the internet when you're supposed to be asleep and like trying to muffle the damn speaker on the side of the computer that would make the dial tone thing with it. Like shut the fuck up. Shut up. Go to sleep. And I often like had to like run back to my room and like hopefully not get caught because it was like so loud. Yeah, the modem song of its people. Of the people. Yep. The screonk, screonk. It's terrible. Worst sound ever. But yeah, I really like all of these images. They're incredibly cinematic. They all look like, they're like movie posters, or they'd be like really good for like desktop, um, you know, backgrounds and stuff. Really, really good stuff here. I am so sorry, Keychain, that I keep getting distracted while I'm trying to talk about your artwork. That is everything from Keychain. As you can see, they have a really cool like dynamic going on, like even without knowing the actual story behind these characters. Visually, there's a lot of like storytelling going on, so I can tell, vaguely like what's happening with the characters, and I think that's really cool. Ooh, posture check and some water. Oh no, I think this is my last sip of water until I go get more. Yeah, that was the last bit of my water for sure. But thank you. And look at that, you're up next. Hell yeah. So now we have Nympha here. They wrote Happy Art Share Day. It's been really difficult to draw lately because of my new medication, but I tried to fight it because I really wanted to draw my precious jellyfish Ensign. Ooh, awesome. This character has like just so much personality. Got distracted by cheese when looking at mine. Yeah, yeah, I've been distracted a lot today. I'm so sorry, guys. I've been getting off track here, but hey, hopefully it's at least like entertaining here. So, but yeah, this is a character from Nympha's webtoon, God King Zaibatsu. Make sure you guys also check that out. Make sure you support Nympha. Nympha is also a fellow VTuber and streamer. So when you catch them on, please pop in their streams. But yeah, I love this. I love like all the effects here. Is this just a close up, or has this been like cropped? I'm a little curious to see if there's more to this picture or not. Cheese is very distracting. Yeah, I love it's just a close up. Okay, okay. I was gonna say if you put this on Webtoon here, they might make you like censor it because they're bastards. Those bastards making you censor the boobies. It's really not that bad. I mean, she is like, covered. Like this is just all we can see in this part. So, but yeah, I love this. This is fantastic. I love like the effects here. It gives it a very soft look. Goes really well with like the blushing and everything. I also like really enjoy this character in your webtoon, by the way. So it's very, very pretty. And then on top of that, we have the time lapse. Oh wait, the time lapse like started with like a little I love the little tiny like chibi one that you were making in the beginning. Please tell me that you took that and did something with that because I want to see that. You should make little like stickers like that too. Yeah, the little guy. That's what I'm saying. Like it was like the little version of her. It was like the chibi version of her. You should take those and turn them into like stickers or keychains too. It's so cute. Just that little blip there is like a little Easter egg. Yeah, you should totally do that. I love it though. This is awesome. Hell yeah. Also, I hope you get adjusted to your medication and I hope it allows you to like be more productive. Like for me personally, like I do have yeah, so I take ADHD medicine and I also take anxiety medicine, but the anxiety medicine makes me tired like all the time. Like I'm always tired because of it. But luckily, my ADHD medicine allows me to not have like I can at least break through like the fog like creatively to still do things. I just have to like jack myself up on coffee to like to power through it and do work. So that is everything from Nympha. Nympha is also one of my OG viewers here. Like I said, also a fellow VTuber and fellow, yeah, pretty much. Oh my God. So like I remember being young and seeing like characters in shows like separating their pills or having like a pill box, and I was like, oh, I'll never be like that. And now I have like five different like pills at least that I have to take before I go to bed. So they wouldn't give you ADHD med. You need to go to another doctor then. Sometimes you have to do that. Like some doctors are like really weird about giving it out. So, I mean, especially if you've been on it before and you should be on it, definitely go to a different doctor and get like uh until you find somebody that you have to let them know like, hey, like it's affecting my work, which is your creativity. It's your job. You have to give them like a valid reason aside from just being like distracted, like, hey, I literally need to focus in order to for my career, so you know give me the damn medicine. And if they don't want to give you Adderall, they should at least give you like what I take is called Vyvanse. Don't get me wrong, Adderall is amazing. Like I bounce around in my chair, but then I don't sleep for like 2.5 days because it's just too intense for me. So they put me on Vyvanse instead, and it doesn't have the it's not nearly as intense. It gives me just enough focus to get over all my mental blocks. Anyway, make sure you guys support Nympha. As you can see, Nympha is really, really cool. I absolutely love Nympha. They're hilarious. They have a great personality, and their artwork is amazing. Make sure that you guys go to Webtoon and read God King Zaibatsu. It's fantastic. You will not regret it. So, yeah, well, I wish I had actually gotten medicated sooner. Like, now I rarely ever get like art block because like I just had so much like anxiety and such a lack of focus that I that's like where all of my art block was coming from, was from like anxiety. Not to mention just like life issues in general. Like I never realized how bad my anxiety is until like I'm out of my medication for like a couple days and I'm like, "Oh god, this is terrible." All right, next up we have After B Animates. Here's my art of my animation persona. I drew this on my PC with my mouse. Oh shit. We have another mouse drawing here. Holy crap. These are always like super impressive. So when the first time I ever used Photoshop, uh you had to use a mouse. Like there weren't any sort of pen tablets yet. Like they didn't even exist. So like a lot of like what I would do is I would draw traditionally. I would take a picture of that drawing and then scan it with like an actual scanner. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. I would put it on a scanner because we didn't have like cell phone cameras that were good enough yet. And then I would have to upload that into Photoshop and like try my best to like extract the lines. And then I would have to like color it in with like my mouse, which was such a pain in the ass. Also can help a lot of people, save life, was dealing with postpartum and wanted to die and then didn't. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I mean, especially like as an American, okay? Like life isn't as is actually incredibly stressful here. Like it's not the sunshine and rainbows that we all try to portray to the outside world. It's actually, everything's expensive, jobs barely pay any money. You've got all sorts of different factors that give us depression, anxiety, that kind of thing. Like I feel like a lot of our issues, if we were to move to a country with better like just mental health, well, like also like the way we approach like mental health and everything, like it's just not conducive to like living like an actual happy life. I don't know. It's like, I guess you could if you were like wealthy, but at the same time, if I was wealthy, I would not. live in America. I would definitely not. Yeah, and like the drugs are like they're like a double-edged sword. So like one, they can like improve your life to help you deal with all those issues, but at the same time, they're allowed to give us stuff that's like terrible for like our bodies and then charge us like way too much money for it. Um anyway, I'm off my soapbox. I'm sorry. Um, anyway, I love at the B animates little persona here. I love that he's got like a hoodie with like the two different colored sleeves. I think that's like really creative. And I think it actually reflects like their actual personalities when you go and watch their videos. So, well, I mean, so the thing with wealthy people is like they have the money to do the things that would make them happy, but there's some of like the most like horrible people on the planet too because like they're so disjointed and disconnected from reality. Yeah, I know, it's a really cool hoodie, like I really like it. This is also like very 90s coded as far as like this hoodie goes too as well. Like sure, they might be billionaires, but they're also like people who don't know how to exist in real life and have some of the worst takes on everything ever. So, yeah, they're pretty much supervillains. You're right. Like, I mean, sure, like I would love to be wealthy, but like my whole goal is I like to supporting others and enriching others' lives and making things better for everyone is what I would want to do with my money. Like, so when I become super famous, because we're gonna manifest this, we're all gonna become super famous. We're all gonna become super wealthy. I wanna, I wanna, like I said, make my art studio where I pay all my artists and make sure everybody is treated like fairly and all that kind of good stuff. Um, but like I wanna also build like programs and centers and things that would like help contribute to like say like mental health issues or maybe a clinic where it's not based on insurance, everything is just affordable. Like if I had just like an excess of money where I was making like millions and millions of dollars like per seconds, like that's what I would do with it because like you can only buy or do but so many things for yourself before you're like, I have so much money, I'd never be able to spend this in my entire life. So, anyway, so sorry. Oh my God, I'm just going on so many rants today. Uh, that was everything from At to Be Animates. Make sure you guys follow them. I like that they're very pro like autism as well. So, supporting everybody out there. Um, well, I'm glad you're here, Feisty. You are super sweet and you're super awesome. I'm super happy, that you're with us and that it saved your life because you're a great person. At the Be Animates also has a YouTube channel where they animate and they also voice act their videos, and they're really, really entertaining. So make sure you guys check them out. Life wants to get jobs. The only thing I want to do is find the One Piece. Hey, I'm with you. We know the One Piece is real, okay? We know. It's been announced that it's real. We all just gotta go for it. We gotta be the next generation of pirates out there and take to the seas with our we just gotta find like our devil fruits or we gotta like level up our hockey to the maximum. We all gotta have conqueror's hockey and like maximum observation and armament hockey. Hell yeah. We have Elizabeth reveal. Oh yeah. Oh, last two here. All right, we have Jupiter Planet. Hell yeah. Jupiter did pop in earlier, so I don't know if they're still here or not, but we finally got you. All traditional this time. Jadiana being smug, Aisha being nervous, Snow, my OC, playing dolls with Tallulah, our friend's OC, Snow following Jadiana's footsteps and being smug as well. Snow is Jadiana's adopted little sister. So hell yeah, I love this. I love this. This is the perfect smug face. It's like kind of like a like almost like a kitty face. Like this reminds me of I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but Rando Weiss, he does not only does he does like silly little web comics, but he also does like silly like YouTube animations. This like smug face, the way it's drawn, reminds me of how he draws it because he draws like really great expressions. But of course, we also have to do this for her as well here. Yeah, she's hot. She is sexy. Oh, and then we have this one being cute here with the, oh, I don't know if I should talk to Senpai. Senpai might notice me. Oh, ooh, woo. And I love the little like the floaty like hairpiece. I always think that's like absolutely adorable. That fits her personality so well. You can see the little like fidget lines and everything. That's awesome. I love it. Holy shit, this one's so cute. Now they kiss. Ote. That's adorable. I love the giant eyes. That's so fucking cute. That's amazing. I love this. This made my day. And this one, wait, smug laugh. Oh man, she just did something so mundane, and but it's so incredible because she's so smug. Also, Jupiter, your signature is like really pretty. I like it. Just a side note there. But yeah, fantastic. I love this. All right, so that was everything from Jupiter Planet. As you can see, Jupiter is super talented, super awesome. I love seeing all the personalities of your characters. Your traditional art looks great. Your digital art looks fantastic. You're just overall a straight up G. So make sure you guys support Jupiter Planet. Please follow them on Twitch now that they are streaming. That way you can hop in and support them as well. All right, and our very last one here, unless I reload and there's other ones, is going to be Literally Hell. Hi, thanks for hosting this art share and supporting us creators. Hey, you're super welcome. I'm Rob, and I've created my very own indie cartoon series called Literally Hell. So what I've been doing for these is I've been turning off my music, and what we're going to do is we're going to pick an episode here, and let's pick the next one here. This one's a little bit shorter, so that's fine. Works out. Oh, I gotta turn on the music. And we'll enjoy some Literally Hell. Yeah, gotta do the fit check. It was that sweet little girl. Oh, I misjudged. Hell yeah, the monkey. And the floss. The two of them are flossing. I love the cat girl just slipping the milk. That's awesome. Oh yeah. Go ahead and give that a like there. All right. So that is from Literally Hell. That is the show. Fantastic job as always. Thank you so much for posting that. That episode was great. Hey, if you ever want some guest voice acting, hit me up. I would like some experience and I would like to try. I don't know about like a reoccurring character, but I'd at least like to be in one episode. That'd be pretty sick. You know, if you so desire. You don't even have to pay me. You just gotta credit me. Aw, Pensy, I'm so sorry. All right, let's go ahead and get this a reload and see if we missed anyone. Yeah, Sarah, Mineko, Scarewolf, The Big Cheese, Pensy, Aaron Boy, Lilin, Achu, Adams, Prime Star, Keychain, Literally Hell, Nympha, Afta, and Jupiter. All right, hell yeah, that was everything there. Um, well, how about this? I I can show you guys the progress I made on my Emily and Yakimo, and then I can see if I have any old stuff here. Let me throw you guys a lot here real quick. Yeah, yeah, I gotta find some. I really need to prepare these ahead of time. I am so like underprepared here. Oh yeah, I can do also do this. the Resident Evil one as well. Resident Evil 2. Emily, Emma. Made a good amount of progress on it. And then I gotta look through. So that's gonna take me a sec. It's a little. Okay, I can show it. I don't know. Minimize those real quick. All right, here we go. So this is the current project progress on my Emily and Yakumo fan art here. As you can see, I've gotten Emily's values, like her light and shadow, all set here. Actually, you know what? I can even turn on her base colors because I actually did those ahead of time. So hold on here. Boy, hold on now. Let me go ahead and see if I can see how it looks. God, it's so slow right now. My computer's like. Thank you, Pensy. I appreciate it. Oh my god, my computer's struggling. It's like so many programs open at once. What are you doing to me, Aniki? I thought you loved me. All right, that's with her base colors. And basically what I have left to do is adjust the shadow colors so the shadows aren't black anymore. And of course, like the lighting to like the orange from the fire. And then I just gotta spruce up the background a little bit. Um, like I don't know if I want to stick with the current background that I had. Let me bring it up real quick. I might change up the background just a little bit here, just to make sure everything like matches. Um, foreground stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I'll probably change up the background just like a little bit here. But that's as far as I've gotten on this. So we're getting there. Getting pretty close to being done. Off. So close that. Save the where I turn that on. But Emily's looking super cute, so I'm glad that that's working out. Oh my god, my computer is like struggling. Yeah. And then this is a thumbnail art that I actually got quite carried away with for my Resident Evil 2 remake Claire run. Uh it took me a long time to like find enough like references. Um I still not 100% sure her face exactly looks like Claire, but you know what? It still turned out pretty cool. Blasting a zombie here with the good old shotty, which I don't know when the hell like I get the shotgun with her because I got the grenade launcher. Can't wait to get the shotgun. Shotgun's so useful. So we got that one there. I made it like as cinematic as possible. Actually, in the final one, I put some letterbox on it, so it looked like it was like kind of like a shot from a movie as well. See it there. And now for some of my older stuff. So I don't know if I showed this, but this was an idea for like a one of the more advanced cases of the infection from my webtoon. One of the zombies. This one's gonna be like nicknamed like Hammerhead because it's got like a big ass like crystals like growing out of its head. So basically, the idea was anywhere like the zombies like had like damage from where they died is where the crystals would start jutting out of. So this one like the top of the head is like blown off, so you can see like if you zoom in, you can see like there's like bits. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's like bits of brain matter like floating around in it, along with like the infection and stuff. Got it like coming out the back there, out of like torso as well. So yeah, this was like a much older design when I was like trying to figure things out. So that was pretty cool. And then let's see what. Then this is a character that's coming up. He's actually a little bit of a spoiler. He's actually the main antagonist of one of the arcs coming up here. This is Lazarus. I was practicing with like a manga style. So I found this like really cool like pose like on Pinterest, and then I decided to do him like that. He's gonna be redesigned probably a little bit also before the actual arc comes out, so he might look a little bit different. But this is like pretty close to how I wanted him. I wanted him to look like kind of like Middle Eastern-ish, maybe Mediterranean, that kind of thing. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I like the way it turned out. I thought this was still pretty cool here. And then this was a concept for my self-insert character here, Behemoth. He is also coming up in the story as well. Um, you know, Obviously you can tell that he's the self-insert character because he looks very similar to my model here. I don't totally reuse like designs for anything. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I like the way this one turned out. I thought the colors turned out like pretty cool and stuff. So, you know, I can't wait to bring him in because like, he's a very action oriented character. So yeah, pretty much me as a Giga Chad. This is like my ideal version of me or whatever, where like I'm back in like super shape and I fight like everything. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. This one turned out pretty good. And I like the effects and stuff that I had on this. So yeah, that is everything here. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw you guys in the lobby. We'll do a little wrap up here. So I want to thank everybody so much for one, participating in these art shares, and two, showing up to support all of the amazing artists that have participated in it. I really, really appreciate it every single week. This is my favorite stream that I do here. Um, if you like the kind of content I do, please follow me to see when I go live. Consider subscribing if you love my content. That would help me out tremendously. I will not be streaming tomorrow, but I will be back on Monday. I'm gonna check the Discord to see how many OC submissions I have. And if I have enough, what I'll do is I will do the wheel spin and then we will start an illustration for an OC. If not, I will be back with more Resident Evil 2 on Monday. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will catch you on Monday.